I, 18 female, have a young teen sister. I currently work and study simultaneously and make around 500 to 600 euros per month, and 250 of that goes to my one-bedroom apartment. I pay for electricity, Wi-Fi, food, etc., and saved up some money from my paycheck these past 2 months to buy her something nice. She had requested this perfume from Sephora, which cost around 80 euros, this makeup kit from Benefit, which retails for about 40, and many more things in that price range. The money I saved was in my bank account, but sadly, I had a leak in my kitchen, and the entire room was basically flooded, which meant I had to pay for cleaning and installing a new pipe in the kitchen so the water wouldn't leak again, and I had to cut back on my budget. I had promised her I would try to get her some things off her wish list, but now I couldn't. Instead, I went to the beauty supply store and got her this big makeup kit the size of a microwave, heck, even bigger, filled with normally priced makeup that retails for about 60 to 70 euros. It includes foundation, eyeshadow, lip gloss, etc. It looks like one of those makeup kits that makeup artists use, and it's fairly priced, but doesn't include high-end products. On Christmas Day, my sister saw the big present and got fairly excited. To be exact, my brother thought it was a PS4. That's how big the makeup kit is. Once she opened it, she didn't know how to react, but smiled and thanked me. She continued to open the rest and saw that it was the only thing I had gotten her. She immediately began to lash out and tell me that I promised to get her the certain things off her wish list. I tried to explain that I couldn't afford it due to my kitchen practically leaking, but she said I shouldn't have promised her anything she wanted if I couldn't go through with it. We haven't spoken since Christmas, and I have to see her on New Year's. My mom said she hadn't touched my present, and that since it was unopened, I should take it back and save up more money to make it up to her, like treat her to something nice. She suggested either taking her to the amusement park in Denmark, since it's a short train ride, or taking her out for a shopping trip or something. But I genuinely don't even think that's going to make up for it, because you need money to do those things properly. I'm just upset because I got her something for a fair price and had to cut back on things for myself and my brother to make her happy. My parents refused Christmas presents from us, so I didn't spend on them. I don't know. I understand I promised her, but I just wasn't doing well financially and barely had the money for anything and thought she would like it, but she didn't. She hasn't spoken to me ever since, and it's messing with me. So, am I the idiot? My mom knows about the repairs, and I assume she told her. I didn't ask for anything for Christmas, since I hate receiving gifts. You are not the idiot. Your sister is. She knows that you've been having trouble financially, and she gets mad that you didn't get a makeup thingy or whatever. The thing is, I think that you're a great big sister because you still bought her something along the lines of what she asked for. If my brothers had issues with money and they bought me so much as a 20-cent candy bar, I would love it. No, her sister's not the idiot either. She's a very young teen. If someone is going to be the idiot in this story, it has to be the parents. They have not taught the youngest daughter that stuff happens in life, and her sister wasn't mean to her. She promised to try to get her what she wanted. And even if she did promise, there are higher priorities in life. You should make it up to her? That's laughably entitled, not just on your sister's part, but on your mother's. You had a literal emergency to take care of. Obviously, your funds would go toward that before anyone's Christmas present. In your shoes, I would return it as demanded, keep the money for my own needs, and never buy another gift for someone so spoiled and ungrateful. You are the idiot for making a promise you couldn't keep. I understand that things happen, but you should always have emergency money aside and not use your only savings for presents. More importantly, you allowed your sister to think that she was getting those gifts and never bothered to explain what happened to your apartment. So obviously, you set her up for disappointment. And I think you should do a little research to ensure that your landlord isn't responsible for your repairs. There are a lot of bad landlords out there. You might even be able to sue him for the repairs to your leak and also the previous repair. Finally, take 30 seconds to Google your situation before paying for more repairs to your apartment. Your landlord's been cheating you unless you own this flat, and you probably don't at age 18. My parents always wanted grandchildren, and my brother and I wanted children, but both of us faced fertility issues with our respective partners. My wife and I eventually decided to look for help. Our parents are old-fashioned, but they tried to be happy for us. My brother also tried. His wife did not. We found a willing friend and now have a son, kindergartner. Sister-in-law went crazy. She spent months blasting all of us about how horrible we were, that we supported all sorts of terrible practices because we were doing this, etc. She refused to go to our baby shower or see us in the hospital, but she did send a new mom kit meant for our friend with things to help a pregnant person recover from childbirth. My brother apologized on her behalf, but said he couldn't change her mind. A few months later, my brother and his wife announced a spontaneous pregnancy after more than 5 years of trying. Our parents were thrilled, so were we. We were willing to put it all behind us. They had a daughter, toddler, which only intensified her views. She refused to bring the baby over for holidays or to meet her cousin because she refused to have her daughter raised to view women as objects. Years later, she softened to have our parents around without us, at least. My parents want the whole family together again. She's agreed to a compromise that she's willing to do holidays and family outings as long as we never tell the children that our friend carried our son. Our parents think we should do this because she has a point, and they were always uneasy with it. I don't agree. This isn't some shameful secret. We didn't do anything wrong. My wife is adamant that we shouldn't, but wants our son to have a cousin. My parents are calling me as much as I'll answer to beg me to consider. My brother wants the tension to stop and isn't going to fight with her anymore. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister-in-law can just mind her business or screw right off. I guarantee lying to your child about their origins will cause a divide in that relationship. Who's more important, sister-in-law and her precious views, or building an honest and open relationship with your child? Children survive without cousin relationships, and they thrive better without people who don't like their existence because it came about differently. Sister-in-law is nuts. The truth is likely to tear the family apart, and sister-in-law will blame you promptly. Since no one wants to stand up to her, do not expect support. Sad, sad situation. Honestly, if someone is objectifying women, it's your sister-in-law. A woman can do whatever she wants with her own body. Your friend was a willing, consenting adult, and the fact that your sister-in-law intends to tell her how to handle her own body is gross. Agree. The truth is that the sister-in-law is the one tearing the family apart and dragging the kids through this muck. The situation is so sad. The sister-in-law is basically preventing 8 people from being a family. I pull your bro aside and ask him that she keeps these thoughts to herself going forward. Everybody knows what she thinks. She can stop bringing it up. I would be worried that your kid is getting less than vibes from sister-in-law. I, 27 female, have been married to my husband, 27, for 5 years, together for 6 years. We met in college when we were 21 and dated for 8 months before he asked me to marry him, and I said yes. 4 months later, we were married on our 1-year dating anniversary. I have never met his parents. For the first 6 months of our relationship, he would talk about them all the time, how they were great parents, how I was going to love them, and they were going to love me, and all of that. And then, all of a sudden, he told me he wasn't on speaking terms with them anymore. I was very confused at the time and tried to get him to talk about it, but no such luck. He just told me they had a fight. It wasn't something he could forgive, and that was that. I met most of his family at the wedding or during the preparations for it. I truly adore them. We were spending Christmas with his paternal grandparents. His parents were his mother's parents, I think, when his cousin accidentally let slip why my husband fought with his parents. He told them he wanted to marry me. They accused me of being a gold digger, with more polite wording. My husband has confirmed this. My husband's family does have a lot of money, the generational kind of wealth. And we did the whole thing, meeting, getting engaged, getting married, quite quickly, to be fair to his parents. But the thing is, My family has more money than his family, and hubby knew it too. I would be less than stellar gold digger if that was my intent. So upon learning what happened, I thought it was amusing. Never in my life have I been accused of trying to social climb. LOL. Maybe if I had known at the time I would have been offended, but today I just find it funny. I told my husband he should contact his parents and try to mend their relationship. They were just worried for his sake. While I'm truly grateful he stuck by me and defended me so strongly, there's no need for that anymore. He didn't want to hear it. At this point, I was a little bit exasperated. His parents were worried and had no way of knowing better. I told him it was silly to stay no contact with them after all this time for such a small offense. My honor is already recovered from learning what they said. Well, he was upset about that last bit, saying it was silly. Things have gotten back to normal since we last talked about it yesterday morning. But I'm wondering, am I the idiot? Should I apologize? I just think it makes no sense to throw away such a great parental relationship for something about me that I'm not even bothered with. You are the idiot, really gently. I know with the distance of time, it doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but you forget a few things. He still hasn't told you the whole story. People don't cut off their parents for years because of one little remark. They cut off their parents because that remark was the last straw. There's more to this. I think you should apologize for minimizing his experience and say that from now on, however he wants to manage his parents, you're on his side. Well, here's a question for you. If you didn't come from wealth and they treated you as a gold digger, do you actually think that you'd be laughing this off as no big deal? At the end of the day, whatever happened was enough that a guy who previously had a close relationship with his parents decided he wanted to go no contact. This generally isn't a decision made lightly. Is your husband the sort of person who cuts people off willy-nilly? So yeah, you are the idiot for telling him it's silly and a small offense. Clearly, it wasn't to him. No, this is not a joke. A lot of people think I was very harsh, but I think I can't be expected to be a saint. I, 27 female, was having dinner with my best friend Kit, his new girlfriend Lola, Kit's brother Paul, and a few of our other friends. Lola's one of those very, very social justice warrior types that are very out of touch with reality and irritating to talk to. In the past few times we've met, she's pinpointed how every one of us was doing something wrong. For example, I'm wrong because I wasn't too keen on looking at political stuff these days due to mental fatigue. My Paul is a problem because he's a martial arts expert, therefore culturally appropriating. You get the drift. This happened last night when we went out to dinner. We were at a fairly nice restaurant, and I was excited as Paul was in town for only a few days, and he's like a brother to me. I didn't want Lola there, but Kit brought her anyway. It was time to order. Lola made a huge deal of ordering vegan food and lamenting how there aren't enough vegan options. So when it was my turn to order, I said I wanted a steak. Lola looked shocked, and Kit just looked defeated at me. A few of our friends smirked though. I think Paul wanted to defuse the situation, so he said he wanted steak too and asked for a rare one. I like joking with him, so I told him he might order a live cow instead of a very rare steak at this rate. He said he's so hungry he'll probably eat one. So I said, "Hear that, Lola? One less cow's methane fart you have to worry about." She just shot a look of pure venom at me. And Kit, I think, actually had his face in his hands at this point. We somehow, I'm still amazed how, got done with dinner without any further outburst. But the actual kicker was that Kit wouldn't drive us home after this. We're roommates, but he actually asked me to take a cab while he dropped Lola home. So I got mad at him and said a few choice words. I think it was the extra glasses of wine I had, but it's evening now, and I feel yesterday's hangover lift, and now I'm guilty. Paul said I should make up with Kit and that he'd talk to Kit too. As for Lola, I hope I never see her again, but since Kit lives with me, this would be difficult, and I don't know what to do. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. I'm going to be honest, I did laugh with this, but you're acting childish. Lola should not expect that you all be vegan just because she is, but you shouldn't have made that comment if you know it's a sensitive topic for her. So you all suck. Nothing wrong with ordering a steak in front of a vegan. Petty as crap to make a big deal of it by your comments to Lola. You are the idiot for your reaction to Kit for wanting to drive his girlfriend home, whom you've treated badly instead of chauffeuring you home. Apologize to Kit and move on. It sounds like you ordered a steak on purpose to cause trouble, not that you really wanted one. I'm sure your friends are going to be finding new friends soon. How long are you supposed to be nagged and insulted for your dietary choices before you are no longer the idiot for not ignoring it? She audibly gasped and glared at you for your order. She's rude and needs to understand that not everyone will take her unnecessary commentary in stride. Not the idiot. She sucks. Not for being a vegan, just for her general personality. I cannot believe I'm writing this, but I'm actually arguing about this with my boyfriend. Long story short, we've been dating for about 3 months, and we always hung out at his place for one reason or another. This year for Christmas, neither of us went to visit family for logistical reasons, so we thought we'd spend the weekend together at mine. For one of the days, we purposefully planned to stay home the whole day. Ever since I was young, I always loved wearing robes at home. I have a super soft and fluffy one, and I usually lay it over my at-home clothes. I basically treat my robe like it's a jacket. It's also extra nice because it's freezing where I live. The day started out fine, but after a few hours, my boyfriend kept giving me weird looks, and he finally asked me to take my robe off and put on normal clothes. I asked him what he meant because we were both basically matching except for the robe. We both had on sweatpants and a sweater. I just had the extra robe. He said the robe made me look lazy, and he kind of hated it. It's a totally new robe, so it's not like it was shabby. So I said no. We were at home alone, not expecting guests, and literally doing nothing except eating snacks and watching TV. I wanted to be comfortable. We ended up arguing about it, which ruined the day for me. We talked it over, and he said I was an idiot for not being willing to compromise. I told him he wasn't being fair because it was me being comfortable in my own home, and his only reasoning for not wanting me to wear it was that I looked lazy in it. Also, just to be clear, I don't wear the robe in public or in front of guests. Not the idiot. 3 months in, and he's trying to control what you wear while in your own home, no less. It's comfy clothing. You're allowed to look lazy when you're having a lazy day. I'd seriously reconsider this relationship, especially if he's giving this much of a red flag this early on. Right? This really got me. He said I was an idiot for not being willing to compromise. Compromise about what? Is OP going to wear half a robe? Maybe a terry cloth pantsuit? A pair of starched and ironed pajamas he deems are productive looking enough for a day of lounging at home? No, he doesn't want to compromise. He wants evidence that OP will give in to his wants and whims without asking questions or voicing opinions. This is very a housewife must have a dress and makeup on all day in case someone comes to call, and so her husband will literally never see her with her makeup off. Exactly. Some things you need to come to a compromise on, and others, one person is just plain wrong and needs to sit down and shut up. A lot of people, controlling idiots, like to throw around the compromise flag because it sounds reasonable and mature. In reality, it's a power play. It's your home. He's a guest. He has no reason to boss you around. If he thinks you look lazy in a robe, I can't imagine what he's going to think on the days you're in pajamas, no makeup and just relaxing. The good thing is that it's only been 3 months. Dump him and move on. Don't stay with someone like him. He's showing you what he's like, and it'll only worsen.